Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Descent of Dragons is almost here. It's coming right up, and I've often been quite reluctant to build budget decks straight away, because budget decks really would need to be tested for a specific meta. However, this time I made a slight exception. I wrote a lengthy article about how to use your free Galakronds for Hearthstone top decks, including decks that are built fully on budget, with Galakrond being the only expensive cards, and also considerations on what to replace if you want to include Kronks or the class epics. You can find the link to the article in the description, and all the deck codes are there, so take a look at that for some more in-depth analysis of those free Galakronds and what options they open for budget players. But I also wanted to make this video and showcase the decks just a little bit, in case you want to play these at release. First up is the Galakrond Warrior. Galakrond the Unbreakable for Warrior, it's really a tempo tool. Gives you a bunch of cards, minions, buffs them up. You would like to finish your games with that. Also, the Galakrond Hero Power gives you attack, so you really want to hit face. It's a little bit more difficult to do on a budget because you don't have Grom, you don't have Leroy, you just have so many things missing. But putting in the Galakrond synergy cards, putting in some of these aggro tools like Floating Berserkers, Galakrond Elites, Taskmasters, using the new Sky Raider, looking like a really strong common 1-drop. And then trying to high roll a bit with South Sea deckhands possibly being found by your Galakrond and giving you some charge power. Warrior would really benefit from Kronks and the synergy epics, but if you don't have any of that stuff, then this sort of aggressive Galakrond Warrior might be something to try. Galakrond also goes nicely into a Zoo build. Galakrond then turns you into an odd paladin, basically, just summoning those 1/1s. So you want to use as many cards that benefit from synergies with tons of tokens as possible, like Knife Jugglers and Direwolf Alphas and all sorts of stuff like that. In this budget build I'm also using a couple of other common cards from the expansion. Blazing Battle Mage, 1-mana 2/2, great 1-drop for Zoo. And then Faceless Corruptor, 5/4 with Rush, Battlecry, turn one of your minions into a copy of this. So when you have a bunch of tokens, you play that, you get a 5/4 with Rush, you turn a 1/1 into another 5/4 with Rush. That's just beautiful stuff, it's your own Oasis Searcher. So Galakrond 2 could look something like this. And then when it comes to Shaman, it's pretty difficult. Galakrond is a really good tempo tool. You just get those 2/1 rush minions and 2/1 rush minions, and Battlecry summons even bigger minions. But it can still be a little bit hard when you're on a budget, because one of the key cards for many of these sorts of token builds for Shaman is the Thunderhead, and that's an epic. And there is a Thunderhead build on Hearthstone top decks that I built, just in case you happen to have that card too. But if you don't, then I went with this sort of approach. Basically mostly a Murloc build. It's heavily leaning on those Murloc synergies, a budget Murloc deck that has a Galakrond element to it, and Mogu Flesh Shaper and Mutate, because Mutate Mogu just got buffed. There's lots of great 8-drops, you really want to mutate those Mogus. And Mutate on the Corrupt Elementalist, getting a 6-drop is also pretty good, so you naturally have a couple of Mutate targets in Galakrond Shaman. If you have more expensive cards, then you might want to ditch the Murloc synergies and go with Overlords instead, but if you don't have it, then without Thunderhead, it's better just go Murlocs. Rogue Galakrond is really interesting tempo tool, draws cards, lets you have them for free. That's something that's really powerful. Also, you're getting tons and tons of lackeys all the time. So the deck is really desperate for that Heist Baron, Tockwaggle and Leroy and Shadow Steps. But, well, on a budget you can't have it all. What you can have is Questing Adventurer that can grow from all your free cards and all your lackeys, and you can have the Faceless Corruptor here too, so you can turn a lackey into a 5/4 with Rush. So there's still some beautiful things that you can do. And you can run the Burgle package. I'm even trying out the new Dragon's Horde in 1 copy to activate your Underbelly fences and your Vendettas a little bit more reliably. Galakrond Priest is something that I'm really excited about, because that might offer you a chance to build a budget deck that's a control deck. Because the Priest Galakrond, it just gives you an endless stream of Priest minions. Obviously it would be better if you had Princess Talanchi to summon a bunch of stuff, if you had Plague of Deaths to really wreak havoc, and if you had Kronks that you could tutor it, because Priest really wants to tutor that Galakrond and get the chain rolling. But if you don't have that, well, this is the kind of idea I had for a budget build. Trying out the dragons, with Chrono Breakers giving you some more AoE because you're lacking a lot of AoE. Breath of the Infinite, Big Ol' Whelps, Spellkins. Just a combination of some dragons and then the control Galakrond win condition. So that's 5 Galakrond budget decks, one for every Galakrond class. Obviously the real versions will be coming out later once it's possible to test them, but if you just want to go ahead and play with Galakrond right at the start of the expansion, then these are some stuff that you can try on day 1. And take a look at that article on Hearthstone top decks where there's more details, and there's also upgraded versions if you have a little bit more cards available. Have a happy first day of Descent of Dragons. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.